Well, if we're gonna find any ghosts, we better split up.
You're listening to Never Split Up, a horror movie podcast.
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror movie.
Hello, everyone, once again to the Never Split Up podcast. My name's Nolan. Alongside me, as always, is Anthony. Today is episode 96. We are covering The Conjuring, released in 2013. What's up, Ant? How's it going?
I'm good. How's it going?
It's going all right. We're now fully into September. The weather's starting to be a chill in the air, which I love, like in the mornings and at night. So this is our season. We're getting ready for spooky season.
Yeah, it feels great. September and October are the best months of the year, hands down.
Yes, we took a week off, but we are back. We had some technical difficulties, but we are back, and we are going to be rolling right into Halloween. We're going to be doing, if all things go according to plan, we're going to have an episode every week up until Halloween week. So stay tuned for that. We got a lot of cool episodes coming up, and we also have our 100th episode coming up. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I think that's going to be the second week in October. We're doing our big 100th episode, so that's going to be a banger of a movie review. We got a couple lists coming up. We have Oriana's going to join us as a special guest once again around Halloween. So a lot of exciting things here at the podcast.
Hell yeah, I can't wait. I'm so excited. This is the best time of year, and we have some goodies planned, so I'm very excited.
Yes. Before we get into The Conjuring, did you want to announce anything? Did you have anything you wanted to talk about? I have one announcement, but I'll let you go first if you had anything.
Yeah, just, it is still, we're celebrating local summer over here, and we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of Jaws. So if you guys haven't checked out that episode, I know a lot of people, got on the bandwagon and covered that, this summer in the last couple weeks. So go check that out if you missed it. I wanted to get a couple more eyes on it before I post the poll, but I thought that was a really good discussion, and that movie means a lot to both of us. So make sure you guys check that out and get ready to vote on that poll. I had a blast talking about Jaws. It's a huge, huge, huge movie for us. So don't forget about that one and check it out.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I loved that episode. I mean, just an all-timer movie. That was a fun episode. We have another all-timer here with The Conjuring, so at least according to the Never Split Up podcast, according to us,
Yeah, for sure.
it's a modern masterpiece, so I'm excited to cover that. Before we get into it, though, if you follow us on social media, you probably saw, but we announced our first ever merch line drop, first merch shop. We're coming out with some merch for you guys to buy. We have some, we have kind of an updated logo for the merch, and we also have some original designs that we created. So that's going to be next week. It's going to be dropping on the 15th, September 15th. It's going to be on Fourth Wall, but if you follow us on social media, I'll also put the link in the description of this episode. You can find the link there when it drops. So that'll be Monday the 15th. So if you guys are interested in picking up some t-shirts or hoodies, we have some beanies, we have some snapbacks, and I think we even have a mug coming out. So if you want a coffee mug, so that's really exciting. So check that out as well. But I think that's about it. We'll dive right into the movie. And you want to cover the cast and crew and all that, and we'll just dive into our initial thoughts.
Yeah, for sure. So the IMDb synopsis is paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren work to help a family terrorized by a dark presence in their farmhouse. It came out in 2013. It was directed by horror goat James Wan, and it was written by Chad and Carrie Hayes. And we have a stat cast starting with horror royalty Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga as Ed and Lorraine Warren. We have Ron Livingston in this, Lily Taylor, who is a scene stealer, and then we have a bunch of the kid characters in it, so they're scene stealer. We have Joey King, she's a nice new star, and then we have one of the girls. She was actually in the Twilight movies. I can't remember her name, but she's in this. There's so many friggin' kids. Mackenzie Foy plays Cindy in this, and yeah, it's a stacked cast. It's introduced us to one of horror's most lovely couples, and yeah, it blew the roof off when it came out in summer of 2013. I believe it made $320 million worldwide on a $20 million budget. And it started this Conjuring franchise universe that we all know, over a decade later. So I'm very excited to get into the first one that created this huge, huge, huge horror franchise that is the highest grossing horror franchise of all time. It does have 10 movies, but it's still this people go gangbusters for this movie, here in the States and overseas. So it's a very, very, very big popcorn franchise for many.
Is this the 10th movie? This new one?
Yeah, I
Rites?
believe
That's
Last
crazy.
Rites is the 10th movie. Yeah.
Is that including La Llorona?
Yeah,
Or-
it's included.
It's
Yeah.
not. Okay, I know they kind of tried to wreck on it and say, never mind.
It's so included.
It's not included.
It's literally a crossover.
Yeah, well, I know. I know the studio kind of.
I know James Wan.
Well,
James Wan included it. It did so well. It made like $100 million.
It did do well, but
budget.
it did do well financially. They all do well. I mean, this has been such a moneymaker going on over a decade now.
Mhm.
12 years. 2013 was when this first one came out, and like you said, yeah, this whole franchise started from this one movie, and you see like bits and pieces of these spin-offs in this first movie. I mean, there's everything. You have, the Nun, you have Annabelle, you have all these different things that have all come from this original movie. And yeah, like you said, it made a killing. It made over $300 million on reasonable $20 million budget. I mean, really cool success story. Some people kind of like to, I don't want to say like horror geeks tend to like look down on these movies because they are like the, mainstream popcorn horror, you might call it. I know how you feel about that, Anthony. We feel similarly. We think that it's only good for the horror genre to have movies like this that bring in a ton of dough and maybe bring in audiences that normally wouldn't watch the horror genre. It's going to introduce people to the genre itself. So we love our popcorn horror. I think we both think there's a place in horror for it. I mean, there's plenty of room in the horror genre. It's not like it's taking away from other subgenres because horror is just continuing to kill it, no pun intended. But yeah, we had first adored this movie. I know how you feel about this movie. We've had it in some lists in the past on this podcast. If you're a listener of the podcast, I believe it was in both of our top 10 of the 2010s.
Yeah, it was definitely.
Is that correct?
Yeah,
it was definitely in mine.
Yeah.
So yeah. So yeah, and check that episode out. That was a fun episode. But yeah, we'll just dive right into our overall thoughts. It's definitely both a recommend for us. I already know that. But you want to kick us off and just go over your initial thoughts?
Yeah, for sure. First, to just address like the popcorn horror of it all. I understand like people like they like their specific subgenres of horror, but that's what makes it so awesome that we have so many different subgenres. And yeah, I mean, they're not all like going to be great movies, and I feel like if you don't like it, that's one thing. But I feel like film snobs just like frown upon it just because it is, so popular in the mainstream, and that's not cool. At least watch it and give your opinion just instead of just talking down to it. I see so many people like post about, oh, it's trash. I'm like, you didn't even watch it. You're just saying that because you're getting on the bandwagon. So there's a place for the Conjuring in the horror genre, and like Nolan said, it's so popular that it brings, I feel like this is such a 4-quadrant like franchise where it's rated R, but like you can go with a date, you can go with your kids, you can go with your spouse, you can bring your parents. It's like such a 4-quadrant movie that it brings everyone into the genre. I think that's very important. But I remember when I saw the first one on opening night, Thursday, it was a Thursday preview night, and it was before they had reserved seating still. I think they were like right in between. And it was right when they started doing like showings other than like the midnight. So I think I went to like a 10 p.m. showing, and I brought my dad. He's like, I want to go see this with you. I'm like, okay. And it was probably one of the best theater experiences I've ever had because it wasn't like sold out packed, but there was enough of a crowd, but we were all kind of like spaced out that everyone was like had that chill in the air. We were all on the edge of our seats and we were all having so much fun with this, suspenseful, classic, but modern haunted house movie with suspense and awesome jump scares to see with the crowd in the theater. So I'll never forget that experience with my dad. He's not like us. He wasn't like, I need to go to the theaters all the time. But the next day, he brought my mom to see it again. I think I was like freshly like 21. So I was out like, doing the AC partying thing. But he brought my mom the next day for opening night. That's how amped he was coming out of the theater. So I'll always cherish that memory. And ever since I saw that, I'm like, oh, James Wan could do so much between Saw, Insidious, Dead Silence, and now The Conjuring. I'm like, he's such a master of so many different types of horror. And I absolutely fell in love with Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson as Ed and Lorraine Warren. I think they're the backbone of the entire franchise, and you could just see by this first movie that it doesn't work without them. And I also think the family in this, they're probably the strongest family of the entire, at least the four Conjuring movies that we've had so far, because the spin-off stuff kind of goes a little different directions. But they're excellent. Lily Taylor, I think she's a scene stealer. She goes through a lot in this movie, and it's it's nothing that we haven't seen, but it's just the execution of James Wan and how he just makes it feel so special and unique, even though it's just something that's been done in horror for for decades. But he just puts his twist on it. And I remember when this came out, it was like the supernatural haunted house horror movie. So everyone went to see it, everyone loved it. I absolutely am obsessed with it, and I'll never forget that first time seeing it. And I own it now, and I make sure I try to watch it, on a spooky September or fall night, and I'm absolutely obsessed with it. And I know that this movie has its place in horror. I think it's a modern horror classic. Um, I love The Conjuring and The Conjuring 2, and I actually don't hate any Conjuring Universe movie. I think some of them are they know what they are. I can watch it on a Friday night, have fun with it, and then forget about it. And some of them are more, more higher quality. But the first two, and specifically the OG, they, in my opinion, are modern horror masterpieces, and they're both helmed, not just produced by James Wan. So he has a lot to do with it. So yeah, I'm fucking obsessed with this movie. I love it. It was in I think it might have been my number three or number two. I can't think of my number three in our top 10 2010s. So this is a biggie for me, and I love it. And I love that the franchise clearly, guys, if you're watching this now, the new movie just had its opening weekend. It's still very much. I know it was the last rites, but this franchise isn't going anywhere because it's literally breaking box office records.
Indeed, it is. I just saw it broke the record for highest opening weekend for a horror movie ever.
Yeah,
in the
that's
history
special.
of cinema, which is insane. I mean, the marketing was pretty solid. I didn't realize how big of a turnout. I don't think anyone. I think it
Yeah.
just blew past projections. So it just goes to show you how, when you break records like that, this isn't just fans of the franchise checking out the characters' last film. Ed and Lorraine Warren's last film. This is like new people too. So you still have new people checking these movies out 10 films later, which is awesome. So
Right.
it just goes to show to the staying power. And yeah, it all started with this movie. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't think they planned a universe. I think they just had this movie, this cool idea. James Wan is a great director, and they got Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson and all these other supporting cast members on board and just created this modern masterpiece. And it made so much money that they started branching off. They had The Conjuring 2, and then Annabelle became viral, so they started making the Annabelle, and they're like, wait, these keep making monies. Like, let's keep going. They started making The Nun, and now we're here 10 films later. So it all started from the original. You said that your opening night experience was very memorable. That is one thing I wanted to highlight, because I feel like when we go through this review, I'm going to talk a lot about the characters and the direction. But first and foremost, this movie was and still is scary. Yeah. I mean, it is spine-tingling. I mean, I know it's very generic because especially at this time, like early 2010s and stuff, there was a lot of haunted house movies and, possession movies going on. But this movie is scary, and that is the most important factor. I think the other factors help it kind of get to that next level, and there's a reason why we have the whole Conjuring universe now, and that is because of James Wan, and it's because of our characters. Like you said, this is the strongest family, I think, as well. You really feel for this family. They have, I believe, 5 kids. They have the twins. The mom and dad seems like they're hardworking people that are just trying to raise a nice family. And, of course, we have our horror parents, Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson. I mean, they just take this movie into the stratosphere, and I love that they're a focal point in this entire runtime. It's not like they come in halfway through the movie as like experts. They are highlighted from the very beginning of this film, and they are pretty much the main characters. Obviously going forward with the sequels, but especially in this first film, we have the family, which is like the main focus of the haunting, but Ed and Lorraine Warren are very much the leads in this film as well. And I think that's brilliant. It's a brilliant way to go about it because you have such strong performances from everyone involved. And yeah, like I said, the direction is awesome. Some of the shots that he's able to pull off, and some of the different tricks and techniques that James Wan, pulls out of his bag for this film are really cool. The entire ending of this film, I like the last 20-25 minutes of this film is just banger after banger after banger scene, and it's like a thrill ride like no other. And even before the ending, I mean, there's great sequences throughout sprinkled in. We have some great heartfelt moments, so it has that balance. It is rated R. It doesn't really feel like you said it is what did you say? It's like a 4-quadrant. I've never heard that term before. Yeah. 4-quadrant movie. Even though it is rated R, I would agree with you. It is very accessible because it is like kind of, there isn't a ton of blood and guts and stuff, and there isn't like a ton of cursing and shit. So, it's fun for everyone. I would show this to a teenager if the teenager was like, I knew a teenager that was like, things don't scare me. It's like, this is a good movie to show like a 13, 14-year-old, I think, even though it is rated R. So yeah, this is a great one for me. I'm not as high on Conjuring 2, I think, as you, but I do think this is the best Conjuring movie in the universe by far. I think this one set the bar, and it still hasn't been exceeded. And yeah, I'm excited to get into this with you.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, it's just such a special movie, so I'm excited we're finally covering a couple biggies, I feel like, the last couple of weeks, so this is awesome.
So the opening. We get Annabelle right off the bat.
Hell yeah.
From the very opening of this entire franchise. Kind of a cool opening. I like it. It sets up, like I said, we have the Warrens from the very beginning of this franchise in the very, opening couple scenes. It's a good way to kind of set the tone for the Warrens and kind of what they're about and like what kind of cases they take instead of just like having a montage explaining their history. I love how we go boots on the ground with one of their previous cases, and they kind of, it's obviously takes place like in a lecture hall kind of, but right. It's a POV of what's happening with this Annabelle doll, and I think it was a very effective way to kind of introduce us to our two mains.
Yeah, I think it was the perfect introduction to our biggies of the franchise in the movie. I also think that Annabelle, I remember when the first Annabelle spinoff came out, I'm like, she was used more effective in this opening scene alone than she was in that entire movie, which again, I'll still have fun with, but the way they used her in this opening scene and later in the movie with Judy is just so scary and spine-tingling. I just love the build-up of the knocking on the door and the miss me note. I thought it was a really, really, really cool, scary opening scene to start off with this, haunted house spook fest. And I love how we cut to the lecture, and Ed and Lorraine are just they're so charming. You can tell instantly how much chemistry Vera and Patrick have with each other. And I love how it just ends with Lorraine saying most call us Ed and Lorraine Warren. Then you had like the still shot, the freeze frame, and then I love in Conjuring fashion how you have like the text come up the screen, and then you just get that score swelling. So that's when you're in for the the Conjuring. It's so good. I really love this intro. When I rewatched it last week, I'm like, God damn, it just pulls you right in immediately, and you're pretty much pulled in for the entire movie because the atmosphere is just set in stone in this opening so well.
Yeah, and it's a perfect blueprint for the Annabelle movies, because the Annabelle movies kind of take just this one scene and kind of build an entire lore for the doll, and it kind of leads up to that scene, which is really cool how they intertwined it. But yeah, wouldn't all be possible without just this like quick little opening scene. She's seen again with Judy, which is one of my favorite scenes in the movie towards the end. But yeah, I mean, she's barely in the movie, and she made such an impact on people. I remember seeing it in theaters. I don't remember all the specifics that you remember, if I saw it opening night or not or whatever. I do remember it was somewhat packed, and from the jump, seeing Annabelle the doll, people hate dolls.
Yeah.
They're creepy. I will admit they are creepy, but people were jumping out of their seat in these first 5 minutes of the film, and that's when I knew like this is going to be a fun movie. So yeah, super effective. And then we get introduced to our family. You talked about the matriarch of the family. You had Lily Taylor. She plays Carolyn.
Oh, she's so good.
You have Roger, the father. You have all the daughters, and they are really nice. They're very memorable, I think. I think they all kind of stand out. A lot of times when you get these families and these haunting movies. They kind of all blend together, but I think they kind of, especially the parents, stand out. Like you said, Lily Taylor's performance is amazing, especially at the end, obviously. But even the kids, I mean, even the twins, like I could tell the twins apart, and I could tell the different daughters apart from each other, and they were all kind of distinct and stuff. And yeah, they were really memorable. I will agree with you there. Poor Sadie though. We have one of the tropes that we do not like on the Never Split Up podcast. Right from jump, Sadie is warning them, barking at the house, and it's like you're sitting there like, God damn it, listen to your dog, you know. But unfortunately, I mean, this is the 70s, people. They just chained Sadie up outside, which they feel bad about. But I believe
is she chained out there, or did she just run out? I can't remember if she's chained or not.
No, she won't go inside at all.
So
I believe Roger kept her outside for the night, and they were worried about the dog. So they were good parents because I believe it was. It might have been Carolyn who says, like, should we bring Sadie inside? And he's like, I couldn't, so I chained her up. She's safe. You know, she's fine. So I can't really... Obviously, they're not going to know that she's going to get mauled to death.
I mean, come on, you don't leave your dog out there.
I mean, what are they going to do? I mean, the dog did not want to go inside.
There's no way I'm leaving my dog outside all night on a fucking chain, on a fucking leash.
Yeah.
But I do like how he at least gets it, like, that's it. I don't think the trope was needed in the movie, but I like that it's just, like, gotten over with quickly, like, out of the way, so I don't have to, like, harp on it.
I will agree it's not needed, especially because there's, like, no consequence to it, so even when the Warrens show up to the house, they don't even really mention Sadie.
Yeah, like that would have been a bit like our dog just died suddenly, like out of nowhere, like a healthy dog. Like
it was definitely set up for the audience more than it was for the characters.
It was like a gotcha. Let's do a gut punch quick because everyone.
But I think they just moved on very quickly, assuming it was like coyotes or something, because they didn't even bring it up once to the Warrens.
That's one thing I would have probably like. I mean, I love Sadie, but I probably wouldn't even have had the dog in the movie if that's how like inconsequential it would have been. So that's the one thing I'm like, you didn't. I feel like it's in there because it's a horror trope, which is whatever.
I know. I almost feel like these studios are just like, you need a dog that dies.
I'm so happy we're finally like
these directors
in the horror movies now. It's like there's dogs in the movies, but like now they have a chance. So like now they play with us the opposite. Like they're in peril, but they make it out. I'm like, okay, I'm okay with that. But I agree.
We're now in the second phase of the trope where like people are expecting the trope, so directors are trying to get creative with it.
Yeah. But I agree. I like the whole family. Again, I'm gonna fuck up the names of because there's so many daughters in this movie. There's like 5, so I do agree with you that they all are memorable and they have their standout moments. But I'm just because I'm like a mess with names, I'm gonna mess them up the whole episode. But they're really good, especially Joey King. She has really good sequence in the movie. I love when she gets pulled in the bed the first night and she's like, "Stop farting." It's like funny, but then it gets super scary. I
love the 3 that stand out to me are Joey King, who's Christine.
Yeah.
You have Cindy, and then you have Nancy. Those are the 3 that really stand out to me. Yeah.
Yeah, I like those 3 too. I think the oldest daughter kind of gets like the shitty end of it because she's just kind of like there, but she has one cool sequence when she like looks up at the cabinet.
Is that Andrea?
I believe so. I know. Again, it's hard.
Andrea and you have April. I think is the youngest.
She has a good sequence at the end too. The little one, obviously.
Yeah.
And the hide and clap is all like April too. That's fucking awesome. Hide and clap is like the fucking that's some of my favorite sequences in the entire movie. But I mean, just to start out, I really love. I mean, I know it's a trope where we kind of do throwback movies, but I really think like the early 70s vibe is like captured so well because we only have like really a couple locations, but like with the vehicles alone and the wardrobe, they're not trying too hard. I feel like some horror movies that take place back in the day, it's like, look at us. We're like back in the day. They're not trying too hard, but I feel like they're getting the aesthetic down pat, and I really do appreciate that. And like,
you know what I feel like they nailed? Definitely the wardrobe, but I think they nailed the grading and the color palette of this film is
really
so well shot, and it's such a comfort to me. Like the whole color palette of this film, how it's like muted colors and the grays and stuff. It gives you that 70s tone without it feeling forced.
Yeah,
because it blends so well with the wardrobe and the house aesthetic and everything. So yeah, it definitely makes it kind of that cozy kind of film. Like you said, you like to watch like on a September night or something. Yeah, for sure.
And it goes into like the vibe of like the Conjuring movies, that they are like, they're scary, but they're also a warm hug at the end of the day, weirdly, for horror. So I'm like, oh, I love when I rewatched them, like it just looks so good. Like the movie just
that's I know people shit on Conjuring 3, and I'm gonna shit on it a little bit now. Maybe it's unfair, but I think that's one of its weak points.
It
is it
tries too
doesn't
hard.
have that like cozy feel that the first
Yeah,
two have, and it kind of feels too just like crisp and clean. Like
yeah,
it needs to get like that like, little griminess to it because the concept of three I think was really cool, but
yeah,
I don't think it was unfortunately executed that great. But
yeah. I
that's
liked it
for
though. Love
another
it. Yeah.
time. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so I wanted to talk about what did you think? Because I think a strength of this film is kind of its layout and its blueprint and the way it's structured. I love how, again, I already talked about how the Warrens are a focal point, but I
Yeah.
also love how the mother is one of the family members that gets spooked pretty early on. A lot of times you have the kids and the dog will get spooked, and then the
Right.
parents are kind of say, "No, no, 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 it's fine." But the mom, Carolyn, is the one that's getting spooked out and creeped out early on, and I think that really, it helps the audience kind of buy into the family, if that makes sense, because a lot of times with these movies, there's a divide between the kids and the parents, let's say, and
Right.
obviously the audience is always going to be on the kids' side because they are experiencing this stuff, and it creates that divide where you're like yelling at the screen and the parents to listen to the kids. But the fact that you have the mother is experiencing this so early, I think that makes the family more likable, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. And also, Roger is never kind of dismissive either. He's not,
Right.
he's a great husband and he's a great father. So I think that really helps us kind of lean into this family even more.
Yeah, I agree, man. I'm always gonna relate to adults more than kids, me specifically. But I like that. Again, it's all like tropey stuff, but as against the execution, like you said, they just moved into a new house. Roger has to go away for nights at a time to work. So she's alone in a new environment with by herself with five kids, and she's waking up with like random bruises. So that alone is like creepy. And I do like how Roger's not like a deadbeat where like he's not just like you said, he's not dismissing everything. He's just like, well, like what's going on? Like I have like he's very supportive, but also not like full on in. Whereas she's also just like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what you did to me last night. Like it's just very weird stuff. And she has like she smells weird things. And then with the whole hide and clap thing, that first round with April, when she thinks she's hearing her in the closet. And then I love it when April runs in and she's like, no, I was in the other room, blah, blah, blah. And she like turns out, she's like, holy shit, I heard the claps, the slow claps from the closet. That's such a good sequence. Yeah, I agree with you. I like that it kind of isn't like the generic kids seeing things at first, which they do in the movie, but it's just the mom is experiencing them as the focal point, and she ends up being the focal point of the third act. So I love that so much. But I do like how it's like sprinkled in with each of them having these weird occurrences, and it's not no one's dismissing it. They're all experiencing it. So I think that's also a pro of what James Wan's doing with the family.
Hmm. We also get, speaking of kind of this movie setting up the franchise for future installments,
Yeah,
we get Mauricio, my boy Mauricio from the Nun movies.
yeah,
He makes an appearance
he
in one
does.
of the lectures, and that's a really cool kind of reverse Easter egg, if you will. You get him in this first movie, and you think he's just a random case study that we're going to see, and, then he's introduced later on in the Nun movies, which I have a soft spot for. So I thought that was cool, too, to kind of go back. Whenever I watch this movie, I'm like, oh, it's Mauricio, and
Yeah,
to see kind of his lore
they
play out is
intertwine
pretty
it.
cool.
I love Vera Farmiga's scream when like Ed's talking to Roger about like my wife had this bad experience. I've been concerned about her ever since. I love her like scream in that movie. You really see the fear on her face. I do like that the little like their videos of their cases. That was awesome.
Hmm. Yeah. So, is there anything you want to talk about before we get to the Warrens? They kind of get to the house and they waste no time. They immediately are like 0 to 100 with this family. They're like, yeah, your house, there's something going on. It could be demonic. And then you
Yeah,
can see the parents' faces. They're like, wait, what? Like, they don't ease them in at all. I love how they're just straight to business. And we found out later on that Lorraine, as soon as she stepped foot in the house, I mean, she
I like
knew.
that.
I mean,
Yeah,
she
yeah.
saw the freaking entities and the, whatnot, right away. So,
Well, what do you think of like the huge scene that like leads Carolyn to go find the Warrens at their lecture? I thought that was like a banger. Like when Roger's like on his way home, but the girls are sleeping. And then you have pretty much she thinks there's an intruder, and I love when she walks through the house and goes into the basement, and the want to play hide and clap is it might be my favorite sequence of the whole movie that night.
really,
When
okay.
everything's going on, I love it
Yeah,
because
that's a
then you
really good
have the
one.
girl who like sleepwalks. I forget which one. Cindy, I think she like slowly sits up, and then Andrea tries to put her to bed, and then she hears the cabinets. She looks up, it's the witch lady. I think it's just that night to me is like the scariest part of the movie. I feel like.
Interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a really good one. There's so much happening all at
Yeah.
once. You have the thing upstairs. You have the mother who's getting
Lost in the
spooked out and then gets
basement.
locked in the basement. I mean, it's very intense. It feels like it's a sequence that should happen later on, but
Yeah.
it happens, yeah, like in kind of, I guess, like we're still in the first half of the film. It's
Right,
kind of
oh,
like
yeah.
maybe halfway, almost, not even. And we get this really intense scene, and that's what sparks, like you said, that's what sparks her to kind of seek out the Warrens. But yeah, I like it a lot too. I think this scene in particular, I do hate to say, out of all the other sequences, it is not my favorite because I don't think it ages as well
Oh,
as
really?
the
Okay.
others. I do like it a lot, but it's not quite as scary as it was the first time I saw it. I do think with the upstairs stuff going on, it's a little cheesy now, and then the clap, you're anticipating it,
So
which
good.
is, obviously you're going to anticipate it because you've seen it before, but it is really well done. It's just I feel like it doesn't hold up as much as some other sequences that I like.
Okay.
Particularly, we talked about Judy and the Annabelle sequence. That's my favorite
It's so
sequence.
good.
I think that is the creepiest one. And again, we go back to Annabelle, and there's a reason, it spawned all these Annabelle movies. But yeah, it's really well done, and it's a good kind of catapult to get our mother Carolyn in this kind of desperate, panicked state.
Right.
And it's really important that we see those events happening, because when she does approach Lorraine and Ed, you can see the desperation in her face and in her voice, and then the Warrens can see that too, and that's kind of what sparks everything. So yeah. So what did you think about when Ed and Lorraine kind of meet the family and first show up?
I love it. I love that they're both coming at it from, they're a team, but their strengths are so different. I love how Lorraine is like a clairvoyant, and she is like on it right away. Because I like what you
Yeah.
said. They do their little walk around, and then she kind of sits them down. The parents like, yo, there's shit in this house. Like, we got to get to work. She's like, I saw them attached to you, Carolyn, and then I saw them attached to your daughters. And I just love how, also, like, to me, what's important in horror is like the character moments. So Lorraine also, I love when she sees like the picture of them on the beach, and she kind of just like visualizes the family having a good time. And that comes into play at the end when she has to tell Carolyn to remember. Pretty much it's cheesy, but it's good because it's heartfelt. So I like how that I like the little moments, because I feel like in other haunted house horror movies, they're like, let's skip over that. Let's just keep going, going, going. But what makes The Conjuring, especially 1 and 2, in my opinion, very special. And no spoilers, but the last one too that just came out are these like slow character beats, so we can see the relationship and bond between these characters. So I love that about her, and I just love how they're just like, yo, you need an exorcism. This house needs to be exorcised. It's not like, let's see for a little bit, but I like how, like, this is what needs to happen, but we need proof. It's not a whole like, well, maybe it's not happening. Like, it just gets down to business. Let's get going. So I feel like the movie is like an hour and 50 minutes, but it's just so well paced. And I love the interaction between both families. I like how Ed's making breakfast. It's just such a good dynamic between both families. And I like how we keep cutting back to Judy, and then that scene plays out. It's just very well done. So I love it. I love it.
Yeah, we get introduced to our the cop. I forget his
He's
name.
hilarious in this movie.
He's really funny. Is that Brad?
Yeah, Brad.
Is that his name?
Yeah,
Brad?
I think his
And
name's
then
Brad.
Drew, the one guy Drew, who's
Yeah.
like the tech guy, I believe. Like, he was cool. So yeah, we have our kind of supporting cast that shows up. I like how they have their own little like crew that they go with. It's not just them two. I think that kind of, I don't know, it's like an extra layer of not really levity, but I guess kind of like levity.
It is.
And it's not too over the top, but I think that's really cool.
It's natural
And,
humor. I like it.
Yes, yeah, for sure. And yeah, so I love that Lorraine kind of pegged the mom right away, and how it's now latching onto the mom.
Yeah.
And we have the one scene that kind of confirms that, where it definitely kind of takes the mom over, and
Oh yeah, I love that.
she
scene.
like wakes up, and Lorraine's like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm not I'm all right, I'm fine."
never-
But Lorraine could tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would you let her go upstairs by herself to take a nap, you fucking crazy
Yeah,
people?
I know.
But it's so good. I love when she's doing like the laundry outside. Lorraine trying to help. Again, there's such good people. At least the characters. We're not talking about the real people. I know there's controversy about the real life Ed and Lorraine Warren. They were
Oh
very
yeah, yeah,
good people, but we're talking about Vera and Patrick. They're awesome in universe,
yes,
and I love how like Ed trying to help them fix their broken down car. You know, you got Lorraine doing the laundry, and I love the scene like you're talking about when the sheet like goes onto the entity and then follows upstairs to get to Carolyn. But yeah, why would you leave her up there alone? But you can just tell that they're just good people who care and they actually want to help. They're not doing it just because that's their job.
yeah. They care, but more importantly, because I could see them, they could have easily went a different approach with these characters and said, okay, they've done hundreds, if not thousands, of cases by now. They're gonna get in. They care about the family, but they're gonna do their job and get out. But
Right.
no, they really want to have like that nurturing presence. And Ed talks about it throughout this whole franchise. He's had a few speeches like this where it's like, it's important work that we do, that we exorcise these demons and get rid of these hauntings. But more importantly, we have to be that stable presence, like, for the family, because the family's mental health is what's
Right.
important as well. So I love how they added that kind of extra
Oh, for
kind of
sure.
mom and dad layer to them, where they're kind of like including themselves in the family. Like you said, he's making
Yeah.
pancakes, and they really, not only do they care, but they take a nurturing approach to kind of making sure that the family is like feels comfortable and
Right.
safe with them. It's not like a tough love approach where they're like, we got to do this now, and
Exactly.
like, you're gonna thank me later. Like, no, it's not like that at all, which I think is really important because it helps people like gravitate towards them even more. And yeah, you talked about that laundry scene where she's, like you said, with the mom, that she sees
Right.
the thing in the window, and that's when she runs upstairs. And yeah, I think pretty much from this point forward, after this whole sequence, you have Lorraine has her big sequence where she falls
Love it.
down, and she goes down the stairs and stuff. From this point on, it's all bangers. It's the rest of the movie is just one banger scene after another. I mean, there's no letting up, and it's just such a thrill ride.
I mean, so we just talk about Vera for a minute. She's such a scream queen. Her fucking scream throughout, like,
Mm.
actually every horror, not even just The Conjuring, Orphan, every freaking horror movie she's in, her scream is banger. So she earned her spot as a scream queen. But I agree. I love that sequence. I love the Brad sequence because I'm like, it's so goofy and funny at first. He's like, "Who are you?" And he like follows the entity into the room. She's like
Yeah.
whispering, "Look what you made me do." I love that scene so much. It really does. It's so funny because we're talking about banger after banger scene, but I feel like, again, for me, always the special sauce is the character development, which makes these banger scenes so
Oh
much more
yeah.
impactful. But they do come at a quick speed, even though we are having these like slow, quiet moments to fall in love with everybody. And again, that wouldn't happen in any other horror movie, any other horror haunted house movie. I feel like they'd like set piece, jump scare. Like you said, let's get to fixing the problem, not building a relationship so they trust us. It's just very, that's why The Conjuring, this one specifically, is so special.
No, I agree. And I love how we get a little break from the house as well.
Yes.
We get Judy, who's a focal point in all of these movies, and I always forget, not forget, but I'm always reminded how important Judy is to them right off the bat from this initial movie. And obviously, we get the sequence with her and Annabelle, and Lorraine can sense that something's wrong, possibly with Judy, and she's calling her mother to check in on it. So it's all there. And like I said, this sequence with Judy is probably my favorite sequence. I mean, it is so scary. I
Yeah,
think it's like spine tingling.
so what they pretty much, she said it's like a witch and a Satanist. I forget the name, was it Bathsheba or whatever, but that
Yes.
presence is going back to attack Jude. So like their involvement with the family is affecting their daughter. So that puts a strain like emotionally on them too, because they're not there to protect their daughter. And I love how that night, with the night, first of all, it's raining, that's thunderstorm, the lighting in that sequence of the
Yeah.
lightning. Oh, that is fucking movie magic. And I just love how Lorraine and Ed are on the way back, and Lorraine's like, "Oh, something's not right, Ed. Like, get home now." So you have
Yeah.
them racing against the clock in like typical like movie fashion, which I love. I fucking eat that shit up. And then you have Judy just like walking through that room. You're like, "Judy, don't do it. Don't go in there." And then she gets locked in there. I just love how the chair turns, and the rocking chair. See, that's overplayed, but if you execute it right, it'll always be scary. So
Yes.
it's done so well, and then you have the Bathsheba like presence thing behind her too popping out. It's expertly done. I love when they finally do get home and get in, and the fucking chair gets flung at Ed. It's just like, holy shit, this is bonkers.
Yes.
But the little actress who played Judy was really good too. I know she's also in I believe she is in The Devil Made Me Do It as well, and Conjuring 2. So
Yeah, I did want to shout her out, Sterling Gerrans. Sterling
Yeah.
Gerrans. She did not come back for the last rites. They
No.
recast
Have you seen
her.
it?
I have seen it.
Okay,
Yeah, I did watch
because
it.
they really aged her a bit. That's why.
They aged her a bit, but I thought they could have made it work. I like the new actress. I
I
thought she
really
did a
do.
really
Yeah.
good job.
Yeah, she did great.
And I actually think that they might do maybe another movie with the daughter.
I would say
we'll
they're
see.
definitely
I think the
doing
movie did
another
well enough.
movie.
Yeah.
They're doing
I
two
hope
more
it's not
movies.
with Ed and Lorraine, but
No, it's not.
I'm assuming Judy and her new husband are going to kind of take the reins.
Yeah.
It kind of seems like that might happen. So I do like the new actress a lot, but
great.
it is kind of a shame that they didn't keep
Yeah, I agree.
Sterling Gerrans, because she's like 21, I think I read now. So I mean, they could have made it work. She's in her early 20s. You
She
know,
probably looks
for-
like a
for the
very
story,
young
but
21 or something.
but I wanted to give her a shout out, and yeah, I do
She's
think that this sequence with Annabelle, I think James Wan is amazing, but I do think sometimes he does get a little heavy-handed with showing too much. But I think this sequence in particular was the perfect example of like less is more, where there isn't a whole lot that he shows, but it's like you said, like the rocking chair and the chair that's being thrown and the lighting and like seeing things in the shadows and stuff. So I think this was like a masterclass of horror, this sequence. And it's definitely an example of less is more, because sometimes with some of his other films in particular, he does get a little kind of, okay, we see it a little too much. But I think that this one was just so good.
It's simple.
And yeah,
but effective.
they get home. Judy's okay. Judy's fine. But now it's like, okay, shit's
Like,
fucking
we gotta
real.
fucking take care of this for
We
us,
gotta
them,
take care-
but us
yeah.
too now.
Yeah, like it followed us home. It's no longer just on the property. It's not like just invading this family's life. This is personal to us now. And I do like that every movie kind of has that personal touch.
That's why
Every
it's
case
special,
that they tackle in this Conjuring universe kind of relates to them personally in one way or another. I think that really lends credence to kind of the stakes and everything. So I think that's really
and
cool.
it makes them vulnerable too, because like the theme of every movie, it's like it's getting like it's taking a toll on them more and more every movie, whether it's like emotionally or physically, specifically for Ed. So I think that's what makes it still threatening to them, not just like, okay, it's a movie of the hour, we're going to help this family, like a procedural. It's not like that, because it does affect Ed and Lorraine so much throughout the franchise, even in this one too.
I do think it is funny though, the marketing for like all four Conjurings. I feel like every one of them, it's like, this is like the craziest case they've ever done, and it's like, no, wait, no, this is the craziest case.
Yeah,
and then
marketing
with this last
101,
one, it's
you
like,
have to.
this is the crazy. This is why they stopped doing cases. It's like, oh shit, this one's crazier than the last one. So I do think that's
I
funny.
always love. I mean, that's like horror movie marketing 101. But I do giggle every time. I
My
see that.
one
Like,
gripe is I do wish, and I know why they didn't, but it would have been cool to see the Amityville horror story in this universe.
Pull out.
Because that's such a fucked up story.
I do
that
like the
would have
sequence
been
in the opening
awesome.
of part 2, though. It's so fucking
Yeah,
good.
I do too, but I would have loved to see an Amityville movie.
Yeah.
I know why they didn't. I mean, it's been done before.
To death.
So I get it. But yeah, to death. So I do get it, but a part of me is like, I wish we got like Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson in that movie. So yeah.
Well, I'm really excited to do. We have more to get to, but I'm kind of curious now. I almost wish we like had a ranking episode plan, or like we did it, because I'm curious to see how different our rankings are for the franchise.
For all 10?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll put it on the books.
That'll
We'll
be
put
good
it on the
ranking.
books,
Yeah, we will put it on the list for sure. So yeah, now the stakes are set, right? I mean, shit has hit the fan. It's now followed them home, and we have the big climax of the film.
Yes.
Carolyn is now fully possessed by this thing, and it's they need to take care of business.
Oh, what a fucking never split up though, when they like leave the house and they leave Carolyn alone at the hotel with like the two youngest girls or whatever. Again, I mean, it's crazy. But why they make sense of it, because Roger's back doing whatever. But I do love against the race against time, like they go to the hotel and the daughters are like screaming like, they took what's the two youngest names? Whatever two youngest names. I know it's Joey King and the April. I forget Joey King's character's name, but April and her back to the house, and the daughters are like pleading like you got to go help her, and Ed, Roger, and Lorraine are like oh shit. So I do love when they get to the house. They're like we got to take her, get the extras, we got to take her now. I love how the entity won't let her leave the house. That sequence when she steps out and she just starts like fucking burning and she gets dragged back. What made my spine tingle is when she called right before she's like fully taken down under in the basement. She screams out for her husband, like Roger, help! And it's just like, oh, I feel so bad for Carolyn because that's just her last bit of hope, like pleading to her husband to just like save my daughters and help me. So it's just so heartbreaking. But I love that that's the kickoff to the banger third act. It's bonkers the third act.
Yeah, this it's such a banger because it is kind like you said, it's kind of generic, but
Yeah,
it's just executed so well. And by the time you get to this basement scene where she's in the chair, like you care for this mother
yeah,
and this family so much, and I'm like, I remember I was like holding my breath, like because a lot of times you do have a sacrifice in these movies where one of the characters might sacrifice themselves, and it's like,
no,
well, I don't want our Ed and Lorraine to die.
no.
Maybe one of their helpers might die, but I don't think so. I don't want this mother to die either. So it's like,
And you don't want
oh,
the
is
dad
that, are
to
they
die
all
either.
gonna make
Yeah,
it
you don't
out?
want
Yeah,
it's
I
like
know.
what the hell? You don't want anyone to
Yeah,
die. And I'm
I
more
know.
like, yo,
So
give me blood, give me. But I'm like, I love these people. Like, let's fix
yeah,
this.
I
I
know.
do like how she chases April throughout the house with that fucking creepy look and the knife, and I like how the two guys come. Oh, what's the Brad when she fucking bites? There's a couple bloody like when she bites Brad's neck
Yeah,
and the fucking I love that sequence and I like how she's like chained up to the chair and they put the cloth on her. Very good.
yeah, it is. Now with the scene where she's chasing April through the house is like
Oh.
super
And the
creepy. Yeah,
fucking dumbass, what's his face? He yells. She's like, she's under the floor. She's under the stairs. Like, don't scream that. Now she's gonna
yeah,
know where she
yeah.
is. She dumbass.
Yeah, but no, this was a good kind of scene where it really is like I guess Bathsheba
Yeah.
is now taking control and is just like pretty much in control for a lot of this scene in the beginning, and it's like, oh no. We've seen this before in other extras movies, but I don't know, something about Bathsheba, just his power level feels so much higher than what they're accustomed to. And they kind of mention that and allude that to that this is like a different kind of evil that they're not
Yeah.
used to. So you really do, are holding your breath like something bad is going to happen. So when they do finally kind of defeat him, and it takes Lorraine reminding Carolyn that you're
I
still
love
in
that.
there, and think of that picture on the beach and that family tripling, like you need to fight right now. I mean, it's so well done, and it's got that heart in it that is like that through line throughout the movie where
Yeah.
this is such a close-knit family and you need to lean on that and fight this thing. You're not helpless. It's such a cool message too.
And I love, again, I'm going to go back to Lily Taylor, but her in that moment when Lorraine's really like, again, everyone's doing great. But when she's like holding on to her head and she's like, remember that day on the beach, remember your daughters, you see the fight in her face trying to like
In her
fight the
eyes, yeah,
evil.
I
And I'm like,
know.
God, Lily Taylor, you're fucking killing it in this scene.
Yeah, I
She's
know.
just like, you can tell like, you can see what she's going through just by looking at her face. And that's hard to do as an actor, especially in
Yes.
this like a heightened situation like that. Like you're scared of her but your heart's breaking for her and you want her to make it out. I'm like, God damn, she's killing it. I feel like she should have like been nominated for like a supporting actress award or something in this movie because she
Something, yeah.
absolutely killed it.
I know. I mean, horror brings out the best in
Yeah.
in these performances. I mean, when you get the emotions running so high in these such intense scenes, and you're able to have these little moments where you can see the internal struggle of someone who's battling a demon but is thinking of their family. I mean, what other genre can you get layers like that?
You
So
don't. That's
I
why it's the
totally agree.
ultimate. Come on.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, they need to get with the program here. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, we're starting to slowly get there with movies like The Substance and stuff, but it's still nowhere near.
It's like to me
we-
like too
doesn't
little,
get
too
the
late now. Like
recognition.
fuck the
Yeah,
Academy, I don't care. But yeah, I mean,
I know.
this is just like everyone the acting, the directing, the cinematography, the writing. It's all firing on all cylinders. And we've been saying the whole time it's nothing new, but it's just done so well. That's why The Conjuring is considered one of the best, of the last 25 years is because of how well it's done.
It's a special movie.
Yeah.
It's very special. We didn't even talk about some of the shots on the cinematography, like the tree in the backyard,
Oh, good.
and the hanging
Love that.
woman where Lorraine sees them hanging. But I think it's Ed when Ed comes out to her, right? And
Yeah.
she sees it behind Ed. I mean,
Very good.
those shots. And to go back, we didn't even talk about that. How it goes back when Lorraine is describing how she sees everything when she
Oh, yeah.
walked in the
Yeah,
door, to kind of go back to that scene and see everything that she saw.
Yeah.
I think was really effective too. So yeah, we didn't even really touch on kind of the cinematography and stuff, but I think this was also had some really cool shots, some really creepy shots as well.
Yeah, it's really like edited and stitched together very well. So whoever did the editing too, like kudos to you, because again, it's an hour and 50 something minutes, but I'm like, this movie flies by, but it also feels like it's so well packaged. Yeah, kudos to everybody.
Yeah. And we get pretty much our happy ending, right? I
Yeah.
mean, she fights the demon. The demon gets expelled, and everyone lives. We have Brad, who was in not great shape. He ends up surviving.
Love it. Love him.
We see him again in the franchise later on, and
Right,
we have the Warrens. Another job well done, and they can kind of ride off into the sunset, and our family is saved, and that's kind of the end of the film. And it's just such a heartwarming ending, but it's so well deserved. You know, a lot of times it's like, I want more death and I want the stakes to be higher because a family member dies, but no. In this movie, at least me, I wanted everyone to live. I cared too much about these characters.
Yeah, there's nothing like, again, I like my bleak and mean horror, but there's nothing wrong with like, you know, your happy horror. And like this is what The Conjuring is, like I've come to expect and what this first movie started. Like it can be really intense and scary, but again, the end is always gonna be a warm hug, especially with like Ed and Lorraine Warren. And I like how this movie also started the Conjuring tradition of them bringing like an artifact from the haunting back to their house. So I think this one, the music box. So I love at the end it has like the song, and now that song like in the music box has been like a tradition to put in all like the Conjuring marketing and trailers throughout. So
Yeah.
that's how like special it was. But I like how in the end it's not like you get a jump scare, you just get the music and then it just closes and cuts to black, and then you have the text again. I think it's a quote from Ed at the end of this one, but that's what makes it so good. It's because it's a warm hug, but it's also like, oh shit, this stuff is still freaky and fucked up.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so that is the Conjuring movie, guys. That was fun time talking about that. I mean, such a good. There's so many good sequences. I feel
Oh
like
yeah,
we didn't even really scratch the surface. I mean, we could really do a deep dive on
yeah.
this
We
film.
will as we continue.
This
to
is
do it,
such
the
a good.
franchise.
This is
Yeah.
such a good entry, and
Oh yeah.
let us know if this is your favorite entry in the franchise. It is my favorite entry. Not to spoil our rankings, but
Yeah.
it's in all timer territory for me. It's borderline masterpiece for me. So okay, let's get into our never split up moments now.
You can go first. I have like so many to choose from. I feel like.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I have a couple. I'll go with the one that I'm like, it's like a dough moment
Yeah.
where, I put my palm to my forehead. It's Brad at the end when
He's
he
such a
screams
dumbass,
out April's name. He's like, I have her, like, he had to have known what was going on. They had to have given him, there's no way the Warrens didn't fill him in on exactly what to expect or what, like, not to do when he entered this house with them. So the fact that he was sent on this mission to go find April and then drop the ball so much and like give away her location, it's just so
I scream. I remember in the
stupid,
theater,
yeah.
everyone was like, "What are you doing?" Like screaming. I was like, "Yes, you idiot!"
You want to love Brad, but in this moment, you're like, dude, come
You-
on, man, you're a cop. You
Yeah.
should know better. Like, you can't give out intel. Like,
Yeah, I'm like you dumbass, but I love I love that scene because I love the screaming at the scream moments. I like that one. I feel like I'm gonna go with the fact that they left Carolyn alone at the hotel with the girls. Like, why? Why would you do that? She's clearly still not in a. I mean, she was ill. Very whether she's ill or still possessed or not, she's not in a good place physically or mentally, and you leave her alone with kids, minors. I don't think that's a good. I don't think that's a good decision on supposed veterans. Ed and Lorraine Warren or Roger. If I was those kids' dad, I'm like absolutely not. Like I'm staying. I love my wife, but I'm staying here for my kids to protect them.
yeah, no, I agree. I think definitely the Warrens, they should know
Yeah.
better. I mean, the dad for sure, just in terms of like, the mother is not feeling well for sure, but the Warrens, especially
on.
Lorraine, like, come on, Like, yeah, well, you know better than that. Yeah. Did they think it was just gonna like?
Come on, it's never that
She
easy.
knew it
It's
wasn't
never
just
that
gonna go
easy.
away when they went to a motel. I mean, yeah, that's a great pick. Okay, let's get into our scores. I guess I'll go first. Again, just quick wrap up thoughts. Great all timer movie. This movie hits every nerve. It's scary. It has amazing sequences. The pacing is great. The cinematography is great. But most importantly, the characters. Almost each and every character is so memorable. The family in this movie is so memorable. And then Ed and Lorraine Warren. A lot of times you get these characters that are in these popular franchises in movies and they kind of grow into their character, but I feel like they're on their A game like from the jump in this first film. And like you said, their chemistry is just infectious. Like I want them to do more projects together in general, not just with The Conjuring. Like they need to be paired up in every single movie going forward, and I hope it's horror. So I just love it so much. This movie is so rewatchable because the pacing is so kind of quick, and it does not feel like an hour and 50 minutes. You're right. It's like it feels like a quick 90-minute movie. So yeah, I'm gonna give this a really good score. This is, like I said, a modern day, dare I say, masterpiece. I'm gonna give this like a 9.3.
Oh yeah, awesome.
9.3.
Good. I love that score. Yeah, I mean, I have such fond memories again, especially now. The first time I saw this, I think, like Nolan said, rewatchability is so huge to me because I want to go back and rewatch the stuff I love. And this one, I can watch this again as much as I watch some of my favorites of all time, and that means this might be one of my favorites because I can watch this tonight and I can watch it over the weekend and not be bored of it. I think that this is the Ed and Lorraine franchise because they are the heartbeat of the franchise, and this is their introduction. And I instantly felt the love between Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga. They are my second favorite horror couple of all time, and I just think that they just knock it out of the park and they really kick off. It's so weird because the franchise is like horror and spooky, but it's also just like it's just a love story, and like you just follow their journey of love throughout the years, which I think is special and why people also flock to the theater connected because they are obsessed with these characters and their development. So again, the most important thing to me, character development, they knock it out of the park. I think the Perrin family is the best family of the entire franchise. Not to say I don't love other families, but this is really the balance that's done in this movie is done the best of the entire franchise. So I love that. I think the scare sequences are some of the most memorable throughout the entire franchise. I still get on the edge of my seat. I get that spooky feeling, whereas some of the other ones, I'm like, yeah, it's Friday night, pop out, jump scare, fun. This one actually feels like the atmosphere with the horror, not just a spooky Friday night movie, which I also love. But yeah, this is all timer for me. It's one of my favorite haunted house, supernatural horror subgenre movies, whatever you want to call it. So it's one of my favorite of the 2010s. I gotta give it a 9.7. I just think it's kind of a perfect all around, spooky take the whole family to watch an R-rated horror movie kind of movie. I think there's something special about that where you can watch it with everyone. You can all be scared together after. When you go to bed, you're like, oh, is there something under my bed? Is there something that closet's creaked? And then you just think about the Conjuring. So I think that the movie does its job, and I really wish that James Wan would come back to direct one of these spin-off movies in the future because clearly this movie Last Rites just came out, but it's not. There's going to be more. So my one wish is that he would come back and do whether it's a Conjuring movie or a spin-off movie. He really needs to get back in the director's chair because nobody does it like him in this franchise. So yeah, absolutely love it. 9.7.
Okay, there you have it, guys. That is The Conjuring, released in 2013. Woo. Let us know what you think. Leave us a review or comment on our YouTube and also Apple Podcasts. We love your reviews. And follow us on social media. Like I said, we are coming out with our first merch line. It's going to be September 15th. So follow us on social media. We also have a very special surprise for everyone on our social media as well. So look out for that. We can announce next week's episode. We're doing a fun top 10 episode. We haven't done a top 10 in a little bit now. We couldn't get to this in the summertime, but we still wanted to get to it. We're going to do our top 10 favorite creature features. Right on the heels of our Jaws review. That's going to be up there for us. We absolutely adore Jaws, but where does the rest of the rankings, where are they? What direction are we going to go in? Obviously, it's going to be a surprise, both of our lists for us, so I can't wait to hear your ranking, and we'll have fun with that next week. But until next time, this is the Never Split Up podcast, and we will see you later. See ya.